For those of you who don't know me yet, I'm Kelly Calkins. Nice to meet you. And I want to tell you about a client who is near and dear to my heart. I have her permission. After over a decade of going to doctors for check engine lights, she had a health crisis. She would go in and they would tell her, your labs are normal, or they would say, you're just a little anxious and depressed. Sound familiar? And she was getting anxious and depressed because she knew something was wrong and she couldn't find answers. At 29, she had a partial hysterectomy because she was borderline hemorrhaging every month. You see, they started cutting out pieces because they were chasing symptoms. She didn't heal right. She bled internally for 8 weeks. She kept telling them something was wrong and they said, it's normal, don't worry about it. 8 weeks later, they brought her in for a second surgery. They cut more out. Again, she didn't heal right. So they put her in a pseudo-medical coma to see if her body was going to recover. It didn't. She ended up with an abscess and was scheduled for a third surgery in an 8-week window. Her body was done. She could feel it winding down. She started making videos for her babies, telling them how much she loved them, because she knew she was not going to survive that third surgery, and they were so young, they weren't going to remember her. She felt hopeless. She prayed for a miracle. She had her life group come over and lay hands on her. She didn't know what else to do. The day came, went in for her pre-op, and the abscess was gone. And she knew in that moment that God wasn't done with her, but her road was far from over. By the end of that year, she had 6 autoimmune diseases. That's why she wasn't healing. She was bedridden. She looked like she had a stroke. Her whole right side drooped and was totally numb, and she lost vision in her right eye. She felt like a shell of herself, like she was stuck in a broken, dying vessel. You see, Western medicine failed her, but she refused to give up. And I am so thankful that she loved herself enough to not give up and to keep fighting, even when they told her, this is the hand you've been dealt and you need to accept it. I am so grateful she didn't listen and she pushed back and she kept fighting because she's me. So when I talk to you about taking back control, about not settling for dysfunction, about not ignoring your check engine lights, I want you to know that I get it because I've been there. I know what it feels like to see things work for everybody but you. I know what it feels like to think it's never going to look and feel different. I know what it is to cry in the shower so nobody sees. And most importantly, I know what it is to come out the other side and take back your life. Hear me say, it's not age, it's not genetics, or just the way your body is. It is dysfunction that you can turn around with the right support and guidance. As a board-certified holistic nutritionist and the owner of Wellness Warriors, I work with women nationwide, helping them take control and reclaim their health. Holistic wellness changed my life, and it can change your life too. How many of you have noticed that the older you get, you maybe don't quite feel like yourself anymore? Yeah? Or that things that used to work are no longer working? You're not alone. Today, I'm going to share 3 key takeaways with you in small, bite-sized pieces, because I'm a nutritionist. So it's easy to digest and absorb so you can move forward in a better way. How's that sound? I'm going to teach you how to eat for health, E.A.T. Okay, sound good? Ladies, we all have check engine lights or symptoms that your body uses to tell you something is wrong. Fatigue, brain fog, crappy sleep, hot flashes, itchy legs, mood swings. All of these are check engine lights. How many of you have check engine lights that you didn't know were check engine lights, that maybe you've been ignoring or worse, justifying? I get it. Check engine lights are how your body tells you it needs help. If you ignore these signs, you are headed for breakdown, dysfunction, and disease. But you don't have to. Just like a car, if you ignore check engine lights, what happens to your car? Stops working. So ladies, the first takeaway I have for you today is E. Eat real food. The biggest mistake I see women make is they rely too much on processed food that is marketed as healthy. These foods are filled with chemicals like carcinogens and obesogens, super fun chemical, makes your fat cells multiply and have super storage capacity so they hold more toxins. This is why we see people carrying more weight than ever before. It's a chemical. Eat real organic food because it lowers your toxic load. High toxic load means high inflammation, and inflammation opens the door to disease. Organic food has 3 or fewer pesticide residues. Non-organic has at least 12. And by pesticide residue, I mean Roundup. Don't eat more Roundup than you need to, fair? Eat organic food. And if you can't find organic, make sure it's non-GMO. I studied integrative nutritional oncology under Dr. Nalini Chilkoff, and she told us straight up, GMO food turns on cancer expression in your body. Eat real food. The second key I have for you today is A, active movement. The biggest mistake I see women make is they either over-exercise or they exercise way too intensely. You don't have to kill yourself to get results, and if you do, that's a check engine light. Your mitochondria, any nerds like me? Mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell. It only needs 20 to 30 minutes of continuous movement that makes your skin clammy every 24 to 48 hours. That's it. You need to remember that when you exercise, your body reads it as stress. It doesn't know if it is good stress or bad stress, and stress isn't inflammation. Remember, inflammation opens the door to disease. Stress also raises your cortisol, which is a direct contributor to belly fat. Not great. So if your cortisol is always high, your body's always stressed, guess what's going to happen? Your adrenals are going to crap out, and you don't want that. So after you're done exercising, lay down, put your feet up a wall, and lower that cortisol so it doesn't stay high all day. You can do this again at bedtime, and it will help you relax and start getting better sleep. The last takeaway I have for you today is the most important. It is test, don't guess. The biggest mistake I see women make is they either don't test at all and they try to figure it out on their own. Ladies, Google and WebMD are not your friends. Or they do the wrong tests, and I see this all the time. Hear me say that symptoms overlap. Don't waste your time, money, and energy chasing the wrong rabbit. Test, don't guess, and do the right tests. In my practice, I use 2 tests. One is a delayed food sensitivity test that looks at 190 foods that are creating systemic inflammation and driving chronic disease. The second test is an organic acid test that looks at 76 biomarkers like gut terrain, yeast, mold, fungus, bacteria, digestive function, metabolic health, cellular health, and more. Between those 2 tests, I can map you out at a cellular level and know exactly what your body needs to come back into balance. Some of you may know my close friend, Belinda Egan. She's like a sister to me. I love her. She was referred to me 2 years ago, and she had only had a delayed food sensitivity test. Now, normally I don't work with anyone without both tests because they're that important. However, we began working on her brain fog and inflammation, among other things, and within 30 days, she looked like she dropped 20 pounds. It was all inflammation. Come find me and I'll show you a picture. It's wonderful. Unfortunately, old habits crept back in, and earlier this year, she was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer. Very, very aggressive. We had several conversations about her options, and Belinda chose to trust me with her life, quite literally, and go completely holistic. She began IV nutraceuticals to change the terrain of her body so cancer could not grow and thrive. And we did that organic acid test because that was her missing piece. And when I got her results, I saw that her gut was filled with carcinogenic markers like mold. If we had those results 2 years ago, she likely would have never ended up on this road. So to quote Belinda, don't cut corners with your health. If you think investing in your health is expensive, wait until you get the bill for cancer. Now, am I saying you're going to get cancer? Not necessarily. But I am saying if you keep ignoring your check engine lights, you are running towards disease. Don't ignore your check engine lights. Stop normalizing dysfunction and start learning how to support your body optimally, physically, mentally, and emotionally. You were created on purpose and for a purpose, but you can't step into that when you feel like crap. Fair? I want you to feel your best so you can live the life you were created to live. It is time to take control, to take back your life, and to learn how to eat for health. Thank you so much, ladies.